Like I always
It's
say,
powerful.
life gets better when you get better. Nothing's ever going to change if you never grow yourself.
100%.
You start working on yourself mentally, physically, emotionally. Income's going to go up. Relationships are going to get better. Your fitness is going to get better because you started taking care of yourself, stepping outside of your comfort zone, learning new things, surrounding yourself with different people. And that's how you get to the next level.
What do you mean? I'm the high-ranking soldier in this shit. What do you mean? Hit the rock bottom, now I'm guaranteed. What do you mean? Buzz-worthy viral drops, I'm the NFT. What do you mean? 6 figures on the daily, not enough for me. What do you mean? Keep constant looking at the real MVP. What do you mean? Sal already rocking profits, call me Wall Street. What do you mean? Skill genius, go ahead and follow me. What do you mean? War ready, loaded, click, clock, fuck.
Welcome to another episode of Unfuck Yourself. Today, we have a very special guest, not only trainer, entrepreneur, coach, photographer. Man, this guy just has so many secrets inside. I'm trying to figure him out. But man, this guy's a stud. Absolutely kindling it in the fitness world. So we're going to have a great conversation. My boy, JJ Velasquez. Thank you, man.
What's up, man? Excited to be here.
Yeah, how's coming back to Cali from Colorado?
It's nice, man. I love it out here. You know, you just can't beat the weather and stuff. This is my home, man. You know, this is where I'll always be at. I mean, that's why I got a place here too. I'm always going to go back and forth, and this is where I feel the best at, and this is where I grind at, and this is where I'm home from, man. So it feels great to be back.
Nice. You grew up in San Diego, right?
Temecula area. Yeah,
Okay.
Wildomar, so small town out there that way.
There's a base out there.
In Wildomar?
Yeah, Wildomar.
Okay.
The backside of Camp Pendleton, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, you didn't know that, man?
Well, in San Diego.
No, this is, it runs all the way up to Wildomar, the backside, through the 15, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, no.
Yeah, then March Air Force Base.
Yeah. I'm familiar with that.
Dude, I'm surprised you didn't join the military.
No, man. That's always been, and I'll tell you why, man. It's funny because I'm one of those guys that never likes to be told what to do. And it's just, you know, even in these instructors, it just was never my thing, man. And it's kind of the same reason that got me into entrepreneurship. I didn't want to be having a boss tell me what to do and
You
stuff.
know what? There's a funny story, and I can't drop a name because he just secretly shared this with me. But there's probably a big influencer that both me and you follow. I'll probably tell you off the record here. But they actually went through Marine Corps boot camp, and on the last phase, ended up cussing out a drill instructor and punching him, and he got kicked out.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So he just said, I couldn't take people telling me what to do, and that's why I was like, fuck that.
Exactly why I never joined the military, man. But all respect
crazy.
to the guys that do, you know, you and all that stuff, but just not for me, man.
Oh, that sounds good, man. So talk me into the process of JJ Velasquez. I mean, you started in Temecula. What was that like growing up? I mean, let's dive into that.
Yeah, man. You know, as a kid, always playing sports and just always striving to, you know, set goals and, you know, go after what I wanted. I always had that mindset too of I always knew that I got the one, the only tattooed on my chest even at a young age. It was just something I always believed that I was a little bit different. Like I had a different mindset or that I wanted different, you know? And so, you know, growing up, of course, having jobs and stuff, I always knew I wanted to be great at something. I wanted to do something, but had no clue what to do. You know, in college, or not college, I didn't want to go to college, but high school, you know, you do all that stuff. You try different things. In the younger years, wanted to be a firefighter, EMT, kind of thought that's what I wanted to do as a career. Went that path, found out that I really care about people, like helping people care about their health. Got into that world for a little bit though, but saw that, hey, you got to spend lots of time away from the family as a firefighter and all that stuff. And that's just a big value to me is family. And I didn't want to be away from my kids and all that stuff. And so I kind of was like, you know what, much as I love this, it's just not for me. Let me figure out what else I can do. Got into photography, got into some network marketing, trying different things. Cause like I said, I wanted to be my own boss. Those were kind of side hustles. I was, you know, bartending and doing EMT and I did all this other stuff. But it kind of took me to where I'm at now. It's like, man, I wanted to do something for myself, had no idea what I wanted to do. And then it took me just, you know, losing a job. I tried to get another bartending job, didn't get that job. And I knew that was a sign, you know, like, hey, maybe I didn't get that job for a reason. Maybe it's time to make a change. Let me try to be and go my own route. You know, let me try to do my own thing. And that's when I started, let me try to go full-time photography. Let me try to make it in that. And of course, you know, I learn to study to do what I can to be the best at photography. I've always had that mindset too. I hate sucking at anything, so I always want to learn how I can be better and stuff. But same thing with photography. I developed very good skill sets. I felt I was very good at it, but the money, the income, the impact just wasn't there with photography.
Yeah. So taking a step back to your upbringing.
Yeah.
Because I always get this question, that some people are just born with it. And I recently, I was watching, I might fuck this up, Khabib, is it the UFC fighter?
Yeah.
Yeah, right, Khabib. And they asked him, I said, man, your discipline, what you put in and all that, is that like something that was embedded in your DNA, were you born with it? And he says, no, man, you just got to be willing to fucking have the mindset and the fucking discipline to go at it so anybody can achieve that. Yeah. So my question is, were you like born with that? I mean, now being an entrepreneur, obviously you dictate your own outcome of what you want to make. Is that something that you had within, or is that something that slowly progressed for you becoming to that?
I mean, I would think at a young age, what I'm going to say it in sports, like I was the one who always wanted to score. I always was the MVP, that kind of, but that's how I grew up, is I just wanted to always be the best at whatever I could, so whether that, and that's just that mindset, like you talked about, of just always wanting to be the best at whatever you do. And then it's like, so if I suck at something, what are I going to do to be better at it? What are I going to do to be the best at this? Is it me learning different things? Is it me developing new skill sets? What can I do so I can be good at this? And so I think part of it is just that mindset of just never striving for average, just never settling, and just let me see how I can get to that next level. Let me see what I can do to be the best at whatever it is, And of course, there's lots of things that I sucked at in the beginning and stuff, but how can I get better at it? What can I learn to do differently to get to that next level and all that,
100%. How was your upbringing with your family, mom and dad in the picture? I mean,
yeah, they're in the picture. I was the first kid, so they were, hard on me. Get good grades, I was an A student, surprisingly. So did really good in school, but they had that harsh, like, you need to do good in school. You need to do this. You need to be good in sports, so they kind of built that mindset in me too. Like, hey, we want you to be the best, kind of pushed me as far as that goes. Now that's just, my dad was hard on me to get me to, not cry, to be the best, just to do all that stuff. So he was there for me in that aspect, but that's what I would say they helped me out with the most with when it comes time to entrepreneurship, financial, like that's a whole different story. But that upbringing was very beneficial as far as just them pushing me to get good grades, to kind of be at the best,
Was there anything that you would have wanted different during that process, like the way they taught you? I want them to really show you something different? Or do you feel that, because I feel that a lot of the times, like, for example, I just figured this out now that I'm a father, the way my dad would try to sort of show me to progress, to be better, was not ideal.
Yeah.
And at the time, I didn't feel that's what he was trying to tell me. Now I'm like, fuck, that's exactly like, I was varsity and freshman for soccer, top goalie. I went state and everything, right? But he would never tell me great job. He'll say, you need to do better.
Exactly.
You need to do better. So fucking on the way, I was like, fuck, dude, am I sucking? Like, am I bad? And that just started fucking me up in the head. But in reality, one day he told me, and this was years later, he says, all I was doing was trying to build you hard skin because the world will fucking eat you up. And nobody's going to fucking pat you in the back but yourself.
I think to answer your question, I think the one thing that resonates most with me is just wanting to make them proud. Wanting just, like, I never really heard that. They provided that support, that push, but always just like, that's kind of the goal. We want to make them proud, but I never got that kind of love or that kind of support as far as like, hey, we're proud of you for for doing this, for achieving this, for all that. So it's always been, maybe that's what's kind of always, I still feel to this day, like I'm still trying to, prove them or make them proud, even though I'm doing well. Like, and I think that, but that at the same time, that built something inside me to want to keep, not just being comfortable where I'm at. So you can kind of give and take, like, I'm sure it helped me, but then it's still, to me, there's still kind of a little bit inside that's like, man, I'm still trying to like make them proud and stuff, so. Are
you the only kid? Do you have more?
No, I got a brother and two sisters.
Two brothers? Are you the oldest or?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm the oldest in the family.
So does everybody now just kind of follow your steps, or are you the one that kind of broke the cycle?
My brother's got no tattoos. He's got 9-to-5 job, but he loves it. He's good at what he does too. Then I got two sisters. Yeah, they're kind of, all different routes. I would say I'm the only entrepreneur of the family. The only one
the black sheep.
Yeah. I'm the only one that went this kind of path and stuff, but it's a path for me, man, and I love it.
Yeah, I like that. It's they always say that there's that one family member that's gonna end up doing all the craziest stuff to paved the way for everybody else moving forward, man. So it takes a lot for somebody to step out of that realm, and especially in the Hispanic community for us, it's like, you know, shit, you gotta go to school, get a degree. You don't do none of that. You're like, you fucked up. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, so growing up, high school, go to college, no?
I went to college to take my EMT stuff, so took a
EMT
couple,
stuff.
you know, certs and kind of went that route. But like I said, once I got into the EMT, I mean, it's sad these days they just don't make that much money. You know, I mean, you're saving people's lives, you know. But like I said, what I got out of that was I saw what would happen later on in life. People that didn't take care of themselves, diabetes, very overweight, people in wheelchairs, no legs, all that stuff because they didn't take care of their health. So that's what was always one of my passions, to like never let my family, never let any of my loved ones, the people I care about, go down that path. And I think that's what really got me into the fitness space and really going hard on the fitness, and kind of why I bring out the intensity and the fire in my fitness, because I saw what could happen to people in life when they don't take care of themselves. And it's just like, I don't want you to go down that path. So I'm going to be hard on you. I'm going to call you on your bullshit. I'm going to do what you got to do because I don't want you to go down that path, and I care about you. And that's why, you know, the fitness space, it brought out. Plus, I mean, I've worked out for myself many years and just know what it does mentally and all that stuff. So kind of why one of my, the career and the path, I feel like it's a good fit, you know, and just
100%. You know, I'm actually putting you on blast on a video later on today in a good way.
Yeah.
And I'm titling it "Working Out with High Intensity Fitness Influencers." And the reason why I'm gonna do that is because I have had the honor working out with you now. I worked out with Mike. I worked out with Phil Heath. All you guys are fucking crazy, in a weird way, but crazy in your own individual sort of. Like Phil Heath, man, that guy doesn't go to his next workout until his fucking arms are falling off, which I think is stupid. Like in my idea, I'm like, what the fuck, bro? I can't even move anymore, right? Mike is just like constantly needs to be doing multiple things at the same time. And I'm like, bro, I'm not even done with my set yet, and like you're killing me. And you're like so fucking dead focused. We're working out yesterday, and I'm like, dude, this guy's like fucking zero in on what he's doing. Like he's fucking. So that explains a lot why you guys are in the physique that you are, in the fucking health environment that you bring in, because you're that fucking laser focused into what you're doing. And sometimes a lot of individuals need that in their fucking lives. Some motherfuckers can't even fucking wake up.
Exactly.
Period.
Exactly.
So they need a drill instructor like you to be there and fucking telling them that. Now, talk to me about that journey. How did that eventually open up? Was that something that after EMT you said, I'm just going to start training people, or was it just sort of just came in?
You know, and I took weights in high school, so I had been lifting weights and, you know, doing fitness for years and years and years, but I just, and in fact, when I was in the EMT field, I actually got into personal training at, you know, a small gym, and kind of the same thing. Back then, I didn't know sales. I was scared to talk to people or whatever it was, and did the in-person, and it just, I wasn't feeling it. I was like 21 or something at that age. So of course, did all this other stuff. And, you know, back when I got into, you know, lost or didn't get that job and was like, man, I need to make a change. Kind of the worst point in my life when I was just broken, you know, all this stuff just got dumped, and I'm just like, I need to do something, man. And that's what really, I hit up one of my buddies. He owns some gyms, and he's the one who's like, dude, why don't you get into training? And I'm like, yeah, why am I not doing that? Like, I've been doing it for all these years, but it just opened my eyes to like, okay, maybe now I'm older, now I'm in a better place. And so it reopened my eyes to it, you know, and that's what got me into the door. And I'm like, then once I started doing it again, that's kind of when I fell in love with it. And that's when I was like, kind of the same thing. How can I get the best at this? How can I be the best at this? And that's when I went even, you know, fully online and stuff too with it, and just really skilled from there. But it's like, you have to get to this point where like, I was at a point where I knew I needed to make a change. I was unhappy with what I was doing in my life. I was unhappy with my income, everything in my life. And I'm like, man, something needs to change. And that's when I went all in on this. Let me learn. Let me hire mentors, coaches, all this. So let me get the best at this. And then it's not only the skill sets and everything that you have, but yeah, like you said, that passion and that mindset. Yeah. You can learn everything, to know what to do, but you got to know how to get people moving, get people off their ass. And it's this, I preach the same thing that worked for me. I was never the guy that's like, okay, yeah. I'm like, you need to get off your ass and get moving. Come on, you want this? You say you want these results. You say you want this body. Well, let's see the actions, because that's what I needed to do for myself to get me to the next level, was call myself out. I had this video of me to this day, you know, August 19th, 2019, just calling myself out. I'm fucking done being tired of this. I'm done being broke. This is the last time I'm struggling. Like, I'm going to make shit happen. Watch this. And it's just like, I needed to call myself out on my own bullshit. And it's like the same thing with your fitness. Like, you get to this point where you have to just be unhappy with the way you look, the way you feel, just the tired, sluggish, the low energy, all that stuff. And it's like, I bring that same intensity and that same passion into my fitness because that's what people need. 100%. People that are, overweight, unhealthy, sometimes they've been like that for years. They've let themselves go. They don't move, they're just in a whole different mindset. They don't value themselves. They obviously, to trash your body, to just be, that big and everything like that, there's a sense of like, low value there. You don't care about things, or you just don't even know what's possible for you until someone shows you the way. So it's like the same thing. You have like, I was thinking about this with our workout yesterday too. You have to have someone that's going to push you and bring you up to the next level, because what you're doing right now isn't getting you the results you want. You've been doing the same things consistently. You need someone with a new mindset. You need someone with a new, motivation. You need someone to push you, to get you off your ass, to make you realize that, dude, you are unhealthy. Like, your kids see you with your shirt on at the beach. Your kids see you got diabetes. You're going to have a heart attack in 5 years if you don't make a change. You need someone to call you on your bullshit, because that's the only way you're going to make a change. Your family, your friends, they're not going to tell you this stuff. Oh, okay. They don't care if you've gained 30, 50 pounds. I do. I don't want to see you go down that path. I have a kid. I see you got kids. I want you to be the best dad that you can be. I want you to be able to walk your kids down the aisle. I want you to be that role model. Yeah. So when they look at you, they're like, that's my dad, man. He's in shape, And I hear this from all these guys I talk to, man. I want to be that role model for my kid. I don't want these kids. You want your kids to see you on the couch with a big ass beer gut and a beer in your hand. That's what you want your kids. That's the role model that you're being for them. Like, no, you can do better. Yeah. You deserve better. They deserve better. So you need someone to call you out on your bullshit, on all this stuff, on all the excuses, to get you moving, to get you thinking, because it could change your life. It could change your kid's life. It could change so much for you if you just start working on your health and your fitness, and everyone's goal isn't to get a six pack. I don't care about that, but you need to do something to take care of your health, to value your health.
Wow. I think the problem is that also in today's society, we're normalizing the fact that fat is okay. And that's the biggest problem. Mm-hmm. I've been to many parental meetings, and you're going to deal with this soon when you start going to school with your kid. Well, you're not in California anymore, so that might be a good thing. Where, it's okay if you're overweight, we got to learn to accept that. And so we start embedding this thoughts and bad habits into our kids, where it's kind of like, for example, like we do pizza night, right? Every Friday. But I have this one thing, and I'll show you this one. Once you exit, my kids have to sign a contract. I have all my kids on a contract, and there's specific things that they have to do to earn certain things, and also allowances. If they achieve that, then you get it, So if you want pizza night, the majority of these things on this contract need to be done. Some of it includes self-improvement, affirmations. You have to do at least a workout. John has to get up every morning and do the whole community as a run. He fucking doesn't run it. He walks it. But it starts. And you brought an important point that it's by example, and you have to be a model. I reached out to Bedros about 2 years ago on a little situation I was having with John. And dude, he fucking, in a politely way, ripped me a new one. Because he said, in other words, a lot of this is happening because some of the things he's seen from you. Mm-hmm. And this is where it starts. Like, it's not okay what he's doing, but we need to adjust certain things in your aspect. And during that time, it was just me focusing on work, not being there, and sort of just kind of showing up when I felt I needed to show up. And that's the problem. And so he said, and we did the Squire program with Bedros. So he said, like, just like we did at the program, you need to take them out. You need to fucking show them pain, but you need to go through it with them. Mm-hmm. So you can see. So we started that journey, and it does make a big difference. So now, although he bitches and complains, he knows, well, this motherfucker at least can get it done. Mm-hmm. This motherfucker's going to do it. I was giving you the example. We're at the, LA Fitness, and he's doing fucking lunges, complaining and boxing. But he's like, there's no way you could do that. And then I fucking do it. He's like, holy shit. Yeah. So, that's a big important factor. In today's society, I believe that, man, this is where the problem becomes, that we're becoming too soft on that aspect, that we let it go and we depend on, well, it's okay, like school will take care of it, or the mom's going to help it. Or you got this shit where like, well, this is where also I believe that your community plays a big part on what happens to you. For example, in the Hispanic community, it's normal that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you're fucking drinking and partying. And I started noticing that. Like, I've been sober now for some time, and John one time asked me, well, Dad, like, are you not like a party fun person anymore because you don't go to these parties where everybody's drinking? And I'm like, well, fuck, if that's the example we're giving them, what do you think is going to be the outcome of that? Mm-hmm. He's going to follow the same fucking shit. Alcohol, bad habits, eating bad, fucking heart problems, fucking dying soon, and there you go. So it's an important factor. Now, my question to you is, you're a dad now. What advice would you give somebody that's watching or hearing, and is that one individual? Is that one guy that feels that it's okay to come home, have beers, hang out Saturday and Sundays, the YOLO life, the balanced life? They say it's balance. I think it's not balance. But that you have kids that are watching you now, and that soon are going to start mimicking that same behavior.
And it all goes into, like you just said, actions over words. You have to show them the example first. You can't tell them you need to do this, you need to do this if you're not setting the example yourself. But as a parent, man, I'm always a believer too. Like, would you want your son to grow up exactly how you are? Like, the weight you are, the lifestyle that you got, the money you make, is that what you want for yourself or for your son? Because you keep going down this path, you're leading him to do that same exact thing. You know, is that the example that you want for your kid? Are you, and then with yourself, are you the kind of dad that's barely getting by? You're struggling financially, you're overweight, and you're broke in all these areas. Because if you are, you need to start taking care of yourself first and set that example for them. You can't just tell them what to do. You have to show them by your actions.
Yeah.
So kind of same thing. I'm a big believer in, like, I want to be the best in all areas: family, fitness, finances. So I set these own standards for myself. Like, hey, I'm just going to lead by example. I cut myself off from work every day at 5:30. I take Sundays off, so I value my family time. And then, hey, when I'm grind mode, I'm grinding. And like, hey, same thing. Every year, my goal is to increase income, always getting better to that next level. But so you're just, and then of course, physical fitness is I have a standard set for myself, at least 4 days every single week, minimum. Some days I'll do more, but that's a standard I set for myself. These are values to myself because I make myself a number one priority, so I can show up at my best for my kids, for my fiance, for my family. Because if I'm tired, if I'm sluggish, if I'm in a bad mood, if I'm low energy, how am I showing up for my kids? 100%. How am I showing up for my fiance? That's not the example that I want to set. You know,
how important is the partnership to be involved in that? Your spouse, your significant other, to be in that same page and have that same mindset.
It's important because it's kind of the same thing. You lead by example, you know, and I'm a big fan of, hey, let's be active together. Let's get the family active together. Let's all go on walks together. You know, when we're together, I was playing basketball with my son the other day. He can't even walk yet, you know, but we're just being active. You know, that's what I want him to see. Oh, hey, Jaden, I'm going to the gym now. He can't even understand, but it's like, he knows that, like, I'm going to go work on that. But the same thing, you know, your wife, you know, they have to be on board. But if not, it's because maybe you haven't set that example. I hear this from all the time, is like, these spouses aren't on board with you starting a new fitness program or something because they don't trust you. They don't know that, they don't want you to spend the money because they don't know that you're going to take it seriously. They've seen the last 3 months, 6 months, year with you doing nothing with your fitness, and now suddenly you're going to start working on it. So I see guys, and it's your job to prove them wrong. Like, no, now I'm going to start taking care of my fitness. Now I'm going to start valuing it. But it starts by setting that example. And lots of times you'll see guys get in great shape, and now suddenly their wife wants to work out with them. Now suddenly they're being active together because they set that example. So, you know, whether they're on board or not, you have to do it for yourself and lead by example. And pretty soon, maybe they'll be more interested in fitness. Maybe they'll start, you know, taking care of their fitness. You guys could eat healthy together, but you got to set that example first. And then you lead the way. You know, as the man, as the leader of the family, you have to lead the way.
So the way I hear it from what you're saying is basically, as the man, you need to take charge of your kingdom, and you be that role model from the beginning to provide the life that you want, right? At what point, and maybe this might be a question that you might or not be able to answer, but at what point does one say, okay, well, if the spouse is not on board, if she's not following, if she's like just, you know, I don't know if you got in clients where they say, well, look, I'm on this fitness journey. I'm fucking killing it now. Look at me. But my wife still refuses to jump on it. Is that something where you would just say, like, fuck, do you need to cut it? Because this happens a lot with these young kids nowadays. I mean, you're how old are you?
38.
38. You're almost my age. But like all these, you know, 30, 32, you know, whole different mindset. I think way different than when we were dating. You know what's going on today with social media and the whole influencer shit. So at what point do you feel that somebody just needs to cut somebody and just move on to somebody that's going to be a better partner for you?
I think it all aligns to the vision you have for your life. I want to be this successful. I want to have this kind of lifestyle, this health. Do you align with my goals and my values? Because like, hey, as long as you're not overweight, like I don't need you to be, as a female, 2%, but I don't need you to be super. I want you to be happy with where you're at. I want you to take care of your health and your fitness. So of course, if they're not on board, like let's try to get them healthy because you care about them. Same thing for your kids. I don't want an overweight kid. So hey, let's get healthy. Let's work out together. Let's get you healthy. Not everyone's girl as a female or everyone's goal as a female is to get super lean, ripped, have muscle and stuff like that. That's up to them. I don't care. You can have all that's, you take care of your fitness like that, but we want to set the example. And it's like, hey, this is the vision I have for my life. We're going to be healthy. Like, hey, so if you align with my vision, hey, maybe you're not dialed in like as I am with my fitness, but we still prioritize it. It could be a good fit. Now, if someone's like preventing you, like I've seen this too, where they made the girls maybe jealous because now the guy's getting in shape and they don't want that. Well, now there's a disconnect because now she's preventing you from being healthy, from being at your best. And maybe it's probably most likely a self-confidence issue. Now you're getting in shape, you're looking better. So instead of, that's when they should, okay, let's get on your fitness together, because fitness builds confidence, so it's all, I'm always a big fan of, they have to have the same vision of you, of where you want to be in your life and the same values. Hey, my fiance values family, values fitness, same values and all that stuff. So as long as you're aligned with but yeah, if they're starting to get to the point where they're jealous and it's creating other issues because you want to better yourself, well, that's when it can be an issue, because I believe that no one should ever hold you back from where you want to be in your life with your goals, with your fitness and everything. I don't care who it is, your family, your friends. That's why I'm a big believer too. I take my own actions because I know where I want to be and no one's going to stop me. I don't care who you are, my fiance, family, like you're not going to stop me from where I want to be. You're going to come with me. You can come with me, but you're not going to stop me. And because I know the vision I have, I want you to come with me though. I want you to be there with me and have that lifestyle. So is this the lifestyle that you want as well and the values that you have? Great. Okay, perfect. We're a good fit. Let's take it to the top.
That's interesting because I feel that that's a big lacking factor today with men, that they cannot make that decision like you just said. Fuck that. If you're not on board with me, I'm cutting. They feel that because of the comfort zone that I still have to maintain this. I'm embedded. I'm committed. I'm in this too long now. I can't fucking start all over again. It's going to fucking break me, right? So for the individuals out there that can't quite do that, how does one start having that mindset of just cutting motherfuckers? Because what they don't understand is that it also plays a big part in your business relationship. Mm-hmm. You're going to get fucked over big time if you can't cut motherfuckers. You're going to get fucked over if you can't even cut friends. Because there's a lot of fucking leeches out there, right? And we spoke about this yesterday, the small circle, better, small individuals. That's it. That's all I fucking need, bro. I can have acquaintances, but you're not going to be all my fucking friends. Let's just say that, right? How does one prepare for that? And what were like some of the things that you did? Or was that something that you sort of have built in? You learned through the way? Or was it just a bunch of experiences and fucking fucked ups that you realize?
Well, you said one big thing there in that whole conversation, and it was comfort zone. So much people get comfortable where they're at. Oh, okay, I've lost 20 pounds. I'm okay now. Okay, cool. I'm making this much money. I'm going to stay there. And that's the worst place you could be, is a comfort zone, because you get complacent. Next thing you know, that 20 pounds you lost, you gain 30 back. Next thing you know, you lose a job. Now what? Now you're like, oh shit, I got to do something differently. That's why we never want to get comfortable. We never want to stay at that spot, because you never know what's going to happen. Life can change. And like me, like, hey, I had a baby and everything changed, my routines and all this stuff. Life's always going to change. Family member, we were just talking about this earlier. You can have a relationship go sour. Someone cheats on you. You just got to be prepared of like, in all situations, and it all goes back into you just always striving for your best. If you're always striving to make more income, to take care of your fitness, and you battle tested and you can get through all this shit, nothing's going to throw you off. But it all goes into, like you said, that comfort zone, that just being comfortable. So what, for me, it took me to be at my worst, to be at a breaking point where I'm like, I'm done with this. I'm done living like this. This is not where I want to be. I'm done being broke. I'm done struggling. I want better for my life. So I'm going to make a change today and never look back. So you have to flip that switch of just, hey, whatever, I don't care where you're at right now with your income, where you're at with your, your body and stuff. It's never too late to make a change. But how do we get to that next level? We have to develop up here first, the mindset. Yeah. One of the first things I did when I was like, damn, I don't know what I need to do, what I want to do next. I started searching YouTube videos, motivational videos every single morning for like years straight. First 10, 15 minutes every day. What does that do? It starts changing your mindset. You start surrounding yourself with people that are pushing you, that are motivating you. You start to believe a little bit more. Hey, you know what? If that guy can do it and he was a drug addict and blah, 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 well, why can't I? I can do the same. So your mindset starts to change of like what's possible for you. And then you start surrounding yourself with people like that. You start reading books. You start going to, hiring mentors, coaches, stuff like that. Your mindset starts to change. People start pulling you up. You start believing in yourself more. And when you have a belief in yourself, you're going to start to take different actions. Well, let me try this thing now. Let me try to work on my fitness. Let me try this new business because I want to see what can happen. And then it's like, okay, now we're stepping outside of our comfort zone, like we just mentioned. Well, now how can we get better at this? Okay, let me learn something new. Let me develop something new. Let me cut off all my negative influences, negative, circle and everything. Let me start surrounding myself with better people. And now it's like people are pulling me up. I'm developing different skill sets. I'm getting better. I believe in myself. What's going to happen with that? Like I always say, life gets better when you get better. Nothing's ever going to change if you never grow yourself. 100%. You start working on yourself mentally, physically, emotionally. You start learning skills. I don't care if it's 10, 15 minutes a day. What do you think is going to happen? Yeah. Stacked over 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 5 years, like... Whew, income's going to go up. Relationships are going to get better. Your fitness is going to get better because you started taking care of yourself, stepping outside of your comfort zone, learning new things, surrounding yourself with different people. And that's how you get to the next level.
It's crazy because that word comfort is the number one killer of just every potential for every man. Well, just anybody, period. I look back at when I was going through my worst stuff, and this was right after I transitioned from the military. Now that I'm in the position where I'm at, I'm like, fuck, dude. All I had to do was just change my mindset, and I would never have been homeless. I would never have been, an alcoholic. I would have never, just one fucking thing, change my mindset. And that mindset alone would have fucking changed the influence and the people I was around. Because when all shit hit the fan, none of those people were there. Nobody. It was just me and my Bacardi bottle. That's it. Mm-hmm. But bro, that is so powerful. So when I hear situations like the one that we spoke earlier, it's hard for me now to kind of latch out and be like, dude, just fucking change the people you're around with. That alone will fucking be impactful in your life, because a lot of people don't understand that yet. They don't. They're fucking too embedded in that comfort zone where, oh man, if I let go of that friend, holy shit, it's like they feel the world's gonna end. But it's so much better when you fucking detach. I mean, you did it, I did it. All these big influencers, mentors that we listen to, they all did it at one point. Nobody's perfect. That's the other thing. Nobody wakes up and are born with this head start of just success. Everybody goes through some fucked up shit in order to find that. And I think that's the powerful thing.
And let me tell you one more thing that I believe works huge for the mindset is working on your own physical fitness. Because when you're lifting heavy ass weight and you feel that you can't do it, or you're doing burpees and you want to quit, and you keep pushing and you keep going and you keep showing up every single day consistently, that shit gets heavy, man. That shit gets hard. You're sore. You're pushing as hard as you can, but afterwards you feel great, man. You feel accomplished. You start developing discipline, and you build confidence in yourself. Like you're getting in better shape. You're getting stronger. You're looking better. It builds a different mindset too, because you got so much guys that turn to these bottles and turn to these vices because they're sad, because they're depressed, because they're covering something up. Mm-hmm. What's a better option? Working on yourself, physical fitness. Get rid of that alcohol, replace it with a habit that's going to make you better. Like physical fitness, push yourself, work hard, and you develop so much mentally just from right there. I believe that, of course, surrounding yourself with people, that's always huge as well. But if you could just discipline yourself, you look around, 70-80% of people are overweight because they can't even discipline themselves to track their food, to eat healthy. So if you can control your own self and control what you put in your mouth and control that, hey, no alcohol, none of this, you develop self-discipline. With self-discipline, you could take it to the next level. You could, like you said, take it to these other areas of your lives as well. So physical fitness, I'm a big believer too, builds huge for the mindset. There's some days I work out, not even just for the look, but just to release that stress, to relieve that negative energy, to get to a higher state. And it all starts with just, hey, let me work on myself. Let me go push myself through a hard ass workout, and I'm going to feel great afterwards. And just imagine doing that over time too. Your mindset gets stronger, and hey, now you can achieve anything, man.
100%. So how does one get started in that aspect? Because it seems like you're big on routine. So you know, somebody that's listening, maybe, you know, they're planning to start that, you know,
I got you.
You know, process now. What would be some of the, because I don't believe in the start small thing. My wife gets mad at me all the time. She's like, well, I need to start. No, fuck that. You go in or not, but.
It all comes with structure. You know, like I always say, people always have a hard time finding the time. Well, you got to make the time. So first off, and this goes for anything, this is how I'm able to fit in my family, my business, you know, my physical fitness, because I set cutoffs. So like I said, I'm in bed by 9:30 every night. I know I'm waking up at 6 o'clock every morning, you know, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, whatever it is, depending on what I got to do. But I have a set bedtime. I'm not up till 12 o'clock every night. I go to bed at the same time. I wake up at the same time. I set my workout time, a time block where I got like, it's usually like 11 to 1 now with the baby. You know, it used to be different, but I set a hard blocked up time where this is where I'm going to work on my fitness, shower, eat, have lunch, whatever. But it's a very structured routine. It's like, okay, I'm waking up, I'm going to bed at this time. I cut off work at this time, 5:30. There's no more work, nothing like that. That's how it all developed that structure. And first thing every morning, I spend, you know, 15 to 30 minutes working on myself, whether it's a book or a course or whatever it is, or just mindset or something like that. Always work on yourself first before you go work for someone else. I'm a big believer in that. You saw same thing this morning. I was reading a book for about 15, 20 minutes every single day. You spend that little bit of time on yourself. We have to make ourselves a priority, but it all goes into the structure, making the time. You know, you're never going to find the time to fit in a workout or to fit in this, or let me spend some time learning this new skill, this new discipline. You make the time, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, you set that structure. But if you develop a structure for yourself where you're cutting yourself off at work, you're going to bed at this time, you're waking up at this time, your body gets used to it. And that way you're very structured and you can fit in anything you need.
Yeah, dude, I like that. How important is the amount of days that somebody starts putting into that? So somebody's just starting off. I mean, does it need to be 4 days?
I'm a big fan of consistency. I don't want you to go into the gym. If you never worked out, I don't want you to go try to do 6 days, because if you miss a day, you're going to feel like a failure. But if I tell you do 3 days and you do 3 days, you stack to win. You told yourself you're going to do 3 days, you did it. You feel good.
Okay. Do you have them to start like cardio, or is it more like some introduction to weightlifting?
No, you know, always either weightlifting or, you know, or body weight stuff. We always want to stimulate muscle. Muscle helps the metabolism, but also, come on, as a man, we need that strength. We need that muscle too. So it's important not only just for the health and all that stuff as well, but so there's always going to be some kind of resistance training, whether it's body weight, whether it's, weights, you know, cardio, that's kind of extra and stuff. It can be there, but that's not what we only want to focus on. So I like I said, I'm a big fan of stacking the wins. Let me start you off with 3 days, 4 days. Let me see you consistent with that for a couple of weeks. And now you want to push it more. We can go to 5 days. We can do more. You know, we can always do that. I got some guys that have done 3 or 4 days a week for 90 days and, you know, lost 20 to 30 pounds, because what matters most is the consistency. I don't care what you did for 1 week. I care what you did for 1 month, 3 months, 6 months. So we have to develop consistency, and it goes into that pattern of winning, of stacking these wins, of being consistent, because now we build more confidence in ourselves. Hey, I'm getting these 3 workouts done every single week like I said I was going to do. I'm showing up consistently, even on the days I don't feel like it, the days I'm tired, the days I'm not motivated. We're showing up and getting it done. Pretty soon it becomes a habit. Yeah. It becomes a discipline, and that's what we fall back on. We never just rely on motivation alone. We fall back on our disciplines and our habits, and that comes from you being consistent, doing it long enough. So it doesn't matter how many days you start. It's about the consistency.
What about now when we start getting into the whole supplement world and all that? I mean, does it really play a big important part? Is it just something extra that you need to do once you achieve something? Or
I mean, there's different supplements for, you know, recovery, muscle soreness, things like that, but you're never going to take, and don't do this, don't take fat burners, don't take none of that stuff, because number one, it doesn't get to the root of the problem. You know, and number two, those things don't even work. You know, you're not just going to take a pill and suddenly you can lose weight. Yeah. That's that easy mindset. The people want that microwave society. They want instant results. That doesn't work. The same reason I see lots of guys that get those surgeries where they lose lots of weight. A year later, they gain it all back. Why? Because they didn't build the habits and the disciplines to get them there. Yeah. You know, but not only that, like I want you to be able to work on yourself and get to play the way you want, because there's lots of pride in that. You lost 30 pounds, you lost 50 pounds. I always say it's not just reaching the number on the scale. It's about the man you become in the process. You had to become disciplined. You had to become consistent. You had to set goals. You had to, develop self-discipline. You had to say no to certain foods, to drinks, to people wanting to go out. You had to do these things. You become a different man when you lose that 30, 40 pounds. So I'd rather you do that than take a pill, because that's not going to help you out. So supplements, it's like, I'd rather maybe just a protein supplement, because most people are low on protein. If anything, that's it. But like most of the time, just hey, be consistent, working out, eating right. You don't need to even spend your money on that stuff.
So like the creatine and all that. I mean, amino acids.
No, I mean it's. I mean that's a different. You know, when you talk about muscle building and stuff, it can give you. But like the same thing. If you're eating like shit, I don't care what supplements you take, you're not going to build the muscle. You know, same thing, or even with the weight loss, you have to do the right things with the nutrition. Most importantly, they call them supplements. They're there to just kind of fill in the gaps or maybe make up for something you're missing. But I want to use it to replace anything. And like I said, you're going to get a lot farther with hard work and consistency than any kind of supplements out there.
Yeah. At what point, you know, for all those, you know, men now that are asking, well, you know, I want that easy route. I want to just go testosterone replacement, or, you know, therapy.
You could take testosterone and still look like shit. People think that it's a magic pill, like you're just going to instantly look better. If your diet isn't on point, if you're not working out, your body's going to look probably even worse because you're going to have more fat. You know, it's just because people think that, okay, now I'm taking this, now I don't have to work as hard. And so now you're working out less, and so you look like crap.
It's crazy because there's a big push for that now. It seems like before you would get all the ads for the fat burners. Now it's the whole testosterone. You know, ads everywhere where if you take this, you're going to burn more fat and you're going to look like this and the energy and this and that. And I'm just like, fuck, dude. Anytime you start injecting stuff into yourself or anything, I mean, unless you're in a good condition and you're going to compete physique or something.
But, you know, one of the best ways to raise your testosterone naturally is working out and eating healthy. As you gain more weight and, you know, get heavier and heavier and heavier, testosterone drops, estrogen goes up, you store more body fat, you start losing weight, you start building muscle, you actually increase testosterone. So if you, depending how overweight you are, you can actually increase it just by doing the stuff you got to do, working out, eating healthy, you know, and so that's one of the best ways to do it naturally. You know, it can be there, like maybe if you're older, you know, or you don't have the motivation or whatever, it can be there. But like I said, it can be there to just kind of supplement, but it's not going to do anything magic.
Yeah.
You have to still put in the work with the workouts, with the nutrition. So it doesn't matter what supplement, man.
Good. So now we're going to get into the most interesting questions, which is the whole diet thing, right? Because apparently that's the thread, the trend, and there's so many of them out there. You got from the, you know, the fasting, the carnivore, the, you know, eat all your raw food like Deliver King out there. I mean, what's your thought on that? What really does
It's funny. It's funny that you said there's so much of them out there. And it's like, I always tell people, like, you've tried everything else. You've tried keto, you've tried intermittent fasting, you've tried all these fat diets. The only thing you haven't tried is a sustainable solution, which is you eating the foods you like, but eating them in the right amounts. Learning your macros, learning how much protein you need to be taking, learning how much calories you need to be intaking. It doesn't matter what diet. Any of those diets, the only reason they work is because you're creating the calorie deficit. You're eating what you need to be doing. Fasting, why does it work for some people? Because now they're cutting out their breakfast and they're cutting out all that late night snacking and desserts and shit they were doing. So now they're eating less. Okay, now you're cutting out all your carbs. What are you doing? You're cutting down your calories. You know, it's like, oh, now you're only eating meat with this carnivore diet. Yeah, so you're not eating all the processed shit. You're eating less calories. So it all goes into the same thing. Oh, you're fasting. Okay, well, you're eating 1 meal a day, or you're eating 2 meals a day. You're eating less calories. But one thing I'm a big fan of is I don't like something you can't maintain. If you can't do this for the next 2 years or, you know, longer, like, what's the point of it? If you could you could cut out all your carbs and lose 15 pounds or whatever it is in a month, and some of it's going to be, a lot of it's going to be a water weight. But what happens when you want to start eating carbs again? You gain it all right back. If it's not sustainable long term, it's not a long term solution. So what's worked for me and many years, and, you know, over 500 guys now too, is just showing them, learning nutrition. What's a good breakfast for you? Have a high protein breakfast. When we have lots of protein, we stay more full, we stay more satisfied. It's easier to eat less. People eat big portions of rice, pasta, stuff like that, lots of calories, and we're not very full. So we're hungry again, so we eat more. I tell these guys, hey, start having a high protein diet. Have protein at every meal now. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, big protein servings. Well, now we're going to be more full. It's going to be easier to eat less. Hey, you like these types of proteins? Cool, eat those proteins. You like these types of carbs? Cool, eat those types of carbs, but eat them in the right amounts. And then you're burning calories through the workouts and stuff, and then we're creating a deficit. And that's how I get all these guys to lose weight, because it's sustainable. You could, if you want to lose 50, 60 pounds, you don't need a fat diet for 1 month. You need something you can maintain for 6 months, a year, if longer. Then what happens when you get there? You want to be able to maintain it long term. So hey, I have one of the same breakfasts almost 90% of the time because I like it, because I enjoy it. I can be consistent with it. When we can be consistent, that's how we're going to get the results, especially long term. So I'm not a big fan of any of the fad diets, all the quick fixes. I want you to do something that you can maintain long term.
So basically, I can eat whatever I want and still get the results that I want. That's what you're saying.
Well, like if you hit your protein and then hit your calories, so that's why you could still fit in this alcohol drink. You could still fit in this bullshit donut, whatever it is. But it's like, are you eating the right amount of calories for your day? Are you eating the amounts of protein, stuff like that?
That's interesting. I had a buddy of mine in the military. Actually, you remind me a lot of him, Carmona. Fit as hell, just like you. Like, this guy, insane. And he would always say, dude, you could eat whatever the fuck you want as long as you're fucking putting in the work.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. So, I mean, I think that could be the wrong translation for many people.
Yeah.
But, it's interesting because we get the whole knowledge of, carbs make you fat, right?
Yeah. Bread makes you fat.
Sugar is going to completely destroy you. You got to stay away from all these things. So in true reality, what does make you fat? Is it just the extra amount of calories that you're putting into your body?
The reason they say bread makes you fat, carbs make you fat is because it's easy to overdo that stuff. You can have a big portion of, like I said, rice, pasta, stuff like that, and it's super high calories, doesn't keep you very full. So you eat a lot of it. So it's like, no, it's not the bread that's getting you fat. It's the overconsumption of calories. I've gotten very lean, eating pancakes a couple days a week, still eating the foods I like, but still creating that calorie deficit because that's what matters most. So of course I want you to go as hard as you can and still, cut out a lot of the processed foods and the sugary foods and stuff like that, because usually they're high in calories. So that's why we usually want you to cut out them. But yeah, you can still fit them in. A couple of days a week, or you can still have a date night with your friends, or a date night with your family, your wife, or whatever it is. Still have a good time and still accomplish the goal. But hey, what are you doing all week? Are you working out how you're supposed to be doing? Are you, eating what you're supposed to be doing? And now we know how much calories we're supposed to be eating. So now we know if we got 500 calories left, 300 calories left for the day, we can fit in that one drink, we can fit in that food and still hit our goals.
What's your eating routine like what are you eating?
So right now I usually stick to about 3 meals a day and 2 snacks, all high protein though. Like my morning I'll do a couple whole eggs, 1 or 2 whole eggs, and then a cup of egg whites. Why not just the 2 eggs? Because it's only about 12 grams of protein. We start adding a cup of egg whites in there. Well, now we shot it up to 30-40 grams of protein. For a while I was doing egg whites and then a little bowl of oatmeal, but now I'm kind of switched to some whole wheat English muffins. So like I said, it's the carbs, but it's the calories that matter the most. Sometimes I'll do some ham on there, make a little egg sandwich. But I know that that breakfast is anywhere from 500 to 600 calories. Okay, what am I doing for lunch? Same thing, high proteins. Right now I've been doing lots of tuna. I found like the flavored tuna that I like. For a while, sometimes I would do turkey burgers, chicken, whatever it is. I just like meals that I can be consistent with. My grocery list every single week that I order, it's pretty much the same. I got some Greek yogurt on there. I got some eggs. I got some egg white. I got some lean meats. And of course, I'll still have, lean ground beef, lean turkey. I'll make steaks. I'll make, lean burgers. All the foods that I like. Because like I said, I'm able to be consistent. But what do they all have in common? They're all high protein. And that's the basic. I just stick to a high protein diet to maintain my muscle, and then of course I could balance out the carbs based on whether I'm trying to lose weight, gain muscle, stuff like that. That's where the carbs can come in for calories and stuff. But it's very I'm always a big fan of you picking the protein sources that you like. If someone tells me to eat fish and broccoli, I'm not going to eat that because I don't like what's tilapia and broccoli, and you'll see people eating that. It's like, it's low calories, but I can't stick to that. I know for vegetables, I like my green beans. I like Brussels sprouts, so I could eat those types of veggies. I know for my proteins, I like this. I know for my carbs, I like to do brown rice. I'll do some sweet potatoes sometimes. I know the carb sources that I like. So find the foods that you like that you can be consistent with, and that's how you're going to be able to maintain it long term.
Yeah. The other thing I was going to ask is, what's your whole thought with, for example, white rice versus brown rice? They said it's actually... Well,
it kind of goes in the same thing. If your goal is weight loss, you want to be concerned about calories. Now brown rice, it's got some kind of a whole grain to it, so they call it that. It's more of like a slow digesting kind of carb compared to like a white rice or white bread, where you kind of get a shot of energy, spikes the insulin a bit better. So it does different things with your body. But as far as actual like fat loss and weight loss, hey, just eat less of that. But if you tell me you like white rice and you can be consistent with that and you can eat it in the right amounts, I want you to eat the foods you like. So I don't care if it's white or brown. Of course, like I said, when we talk about my whole goal for you, if you want to lose weight, is to find something that you can stay full on. So it's usually fibrous carbs, fruits, veggies, things like that, whole grains, and even with same thing with rice. We're going to be a little bit more full because the brown rice has some fiber and stuff in it too. So eat the foods that are going to keep you full because it's going to be easier for you to eat less.
Interesting. I did that app you told me to download.
Yeah.
And fuck, dude, somehow I was still short 1,300 calories yesterday. Yeah. And I thought I actually did pretty good. But at the end of the day, after I logged everything in, I was still short 1,300. So fuck, does that mean that I just need to intake more? Is that...
So a couple of things. So number one, you have to get good at learning. And the reason I always tell people to track their food too, because you start to learn portion sizes. You could think that this bowl of oatmeal or that this is this much calories, but until you actually know exactly how much calories in it and log it, okay, now I know, like for me, I know an egg is like 6 grams of protein. I know, my Greek yogurt's 90 calories and 15 grams. Like I know this because I've done it so much. So you start to learn portion sizes and stuff. But usually what I always tell people of is, if your goal is weight loss and you have this calorie goal you need to be hitting, most of the time, as you start working out, you get the body burning more, your body's going to be more hungry. But what can happen is, and sometimes I see that too, especially if you are eating lots of protein, sometimes you'll be more full, which like, I'm not that hungry. But usually what can happen after 2-3 days of low calories is like, oh, damn, your body's super hungry now. And you'll go binge eat 3,000, 4,000 calories because your body's like, feels like it's starving. So I always like to say, and not only for that, but we have the calorie goal, but then also we want to focus on getting lots of protein, because if we eat 1,000 calories and we barely have any protein, we can start to lose muscle. So it's going to be important that you're eating those, close to the calorie goal, to keeping the protein high to maintain the muscle that you got. And then I always say, hey, and plus here's the thing too, if you're eating 1,000 calories a day and you get to a point where you're plateauing, how are you going to make a cut? You can't cut down to 500 calories. So I'd rather you start off with the most calories as possible while still losing weight. Now you get to a point where you're plateauing. Well, now we can make an adjustment to your calories, to your macros, and cut even lower. So I don't want you to start off super low. I'd rather you start off high, hit your protein, and cool. As long as we're making progress every week, we don't need to touch anything. Then we get to a point where we plateau, we can make the adjustment. But if you start out very low, like we can't cut no lower,
And this is something that we were talking about yesterday as well. How effective are these like online trainings? And, there's been a lot of sort of issues with a lot of people that were doing the whole online, courses and all that, where it was just basically paper cut, same thing, same nutrition plan for everybody out there. And I know you've been doing this for a while and have a very good, successful testimonial routine. Like, what is it that you do differently for your clients? And, how is that helping them out in the whole process?
Well, see, one thing I see is everyone, even though your goal might be fat loss, weight loss, everyone's at a different spot with their physical condition. Maybe they can do some of these workouts. Maybe they need to start off a little bit easier. And then where you at with the nutrition? Is it easy for you to track your food? Is it easy for you to hit your protein? Sometimes we need to work on even just how to eat right. You don't even know how much protein you don't even know how to have a high protein diet. So a lot of what I do is providing the extra support. I can give everybody a workout plan and a nutrition plan. You can find some of that stuff online. Why don't people get results? Because they don't know how to implement it. They don't have the accountability to make sure you're doing it. They don't have the support to get you there. I could tell you to eat 180 grams of protein. Well, damn, how am I going to do that? How many meals? If I tell you that, each meal, eat 40 calories. If I tell you to eat this, start tracking your food. But so what I usually have people do is the first week, I give you everything you need, the workouts and nutrition. I have you working on it. And then after the first week, we assess, okay, this is where your calories, where your protein was at after the first week. This is what we can do next week to get your protein up, to bring down the fats. So it's providing not only their blueprint, but actually helping someone hit those numbers, helping someone stay consistent, helping them with the mindset. So it's just, that's where the coaching aspect comes from, the accountability, the support. Because you could find, a workout nutrition plan online, but lots of people that need to know how to implement it, how to stay consistent with it, and then just how to make it work around their lifestyle is big too. I work with lots of guys who travel, they're busy, stuff like that. So we have to learn how to make it work around your lifestyle. Okay, let's eat this. Let's cut out this. Let's bring this with you as a snack. Let's prepare this, So working it around your lifestyle, I feel like that way everyone's got a solution that works for them.
100%.
Compared to just some, cookie cutter situation. Well, damn, that doesn't work around my lifestyle. I could only eat 3 meals a day, or I could only eat 2 meals, or hey, what do I eat when I'm traveling? Okay, now you know what to. I've had a guy lose like 20-some pounds eating Chick-fil-A all the time, because that's what worked for him, but he knew what to get there. He was doing the workout. So we build it around your lifestyle, around the foods you like and can be consistent with, that are going to accomplish the goal. and that's how we do it. So it's just not only giving you the blueprint, but actually helping you implement it.
And realistically, what is the process like for the 30 days, 60 days, 90 days? I mean, what can somebody truly expect to lose? And, you know, what's realistically versus false expectation?
Yeah, I mean, depending on, you know, where you're at, obviously someone that's very overweight doing nothing, they're going to lose lots of weight faster because, damn, now we're actually burning lots of calories and, you know, we're eating less. So usually those guys lose weight a lot quicker. So depending on where you're at, I mean, I would say anywhere, you know, they say, you know, anywhere from like half a pound to 2-3 pounds a week is a good average. So yeah, depending on where you're at with your fitness levels, I would say, you know, anywhere from, you know, a good 6 to 10 pounds a month is a good average. Sustainably, you don't want to lose muscle. You know, you'll see these guys like, oh, I lost 20 pounds in a month. Yeah, you cut out all your carbs, you ate 500 calories, you lost a bunch of muscle and ruined your metabolism.
Yeah.
And now, okay, and you lost that in 1 month. Well, now what's going to happen next month? You're barely eating calories. You know, you got no muscle, because what happens is as you lose muscle, your metabolism slows down.
Correct.
So it's like we want to lose weight, you know, consistently over time, and we keep the muscle that we got, keep the metabolism going, and make it sustainable. You're not going to be able to eat 500 calories for 6 months. You know, but if I tell you, hey, eat this much, eat the foods you like, let's slowly make a calorie deficit every week, and you're losing weight consistently, that's how we can achieve the goal long term. You know, so I'm all about that sustainability.
So for a man, you could actually just lose weight, but also there's a process in which you don't have to lose that muscle and lose, you know.
Yeah.
That's the other thing too. Many people say, well, I don't want to lose weight too fast because then you lose your muscle.
Exactly. And that can happen with, like you said, you're barely eating any calories, or you're not having enough protein, or you're just doing cardio, you're going to lose the muscle. And then you're just you get those guys, oh, I don't want to have all the loose skin. Well, you did nothing to build your muscle. You know, you did nothing underneath. So that's why I try, one of the first things I do is try to get people out of that quick fix mindset. Yeah. I don't care. I don't want you to lose 25 pounds in 1 month and then be, okay, now what? I want you to lose, you know, 25 pounds over the next couple months sustainably, and then you can maintain it, not have this bounce back of where you've been this yo-yo every couple months, you're up and down weight. Like, I want you to get to the goal and be able to actually maintain it.
So for somebody that's like 260 and they want to get to that point where they're not just 100% ripped, but, you know, just nice definition, what would that be, like 12% body fat? Or 13%,
depending on their height, but yeah, I mean, even 15% is kind of usually your stomach's flat by then. You might start to see some definition, maybe some top abs and stuff, and of course you start getting 10% lower. Then you start getting even more ripped. But most guys, they just want to lose the beer gut. They want to lose this big pregnant belly they got, you know. And so most of it, is just about getting down to that body.
And that could be what, 3 months, 4 months, a year process.
Yeah, depending on where they're at. You know, I've had guys that, they started at like 270, something like that. It took them a year, but they lost, 50, 60, 70 pounds in a year. But the time's going to pass anyways. Like, why do you care? I don't want, that's why I said I start up here. Mindset. I want you to know where we want to be long term, because the year's going to pass anyways. Yeah. You know, you've been struggling with this weight. You just told me for the last 5-10 years, you've been overweight your whole life. Why do you care if it's going to take 1 year? You know, that's nothing. Exactly.
Yeah. What has been the biggest testimonial from your clients? Like,
I mean, I've had multiple guys start off at the highest, like 270, 290, get down. One guy's got like, he dropped over, he's like at 160 now, you know, super lean, ripped abs. And he actually brought him on as an assistant coach now too, because he had really good results. But it's the same thing. He implemented exactly my process, step by step. Here's exactly what to do. We got to a point where we're plateauing or something like that. Okay, let's make an adjustment. Let's keep it going. We started off with bodyweight workouts, actually, and then he was scared to go in the gym. Oh man, it's nervous. I'm not comfortable there. I had a talk with him. Next thing you know, he's in there, and now he's killing it at the gym. It's all, we have to build a mindset. We have to build this new confidence to step outside of your comfort zone. So there's lots of coaching that could go into it. But what did he do? He just stayed consistent, long term.
Who are some of the fitness influencers or pros out there that you admire, that you look up to, that, you know?
As far as like physique or
just...
Well, I always respect a man that's in shape. Number one, I don't care, because when I look at you, I know what it takes to be physically fit.
Yeah.
You know, and so some of my buddies, Mike, Wes, lots of those guys, or Bedros and Sue, I respect them because not only are they successful with fitness, but also business. And so that's who I want to surround myself with, because that's what I am. I preach what I want and stuff. So if you are in shape and, I respect you because I know the work it takes, the discipline. And if you're someone that's in shape, I want to do business with you. I see these ads on Facebook and stuff, and it's this guy's close up, and all I see is double chin. Like, come on, man. Like, I'm just turned on. I don't care what you're saying in the ad. All I'm looking at is that. Or I see these ads where it's like, oh, you could buy this shirt and it's going to cover up your fat. I'm just like, oh my God, come on, man. Like, we got to do better.
Again, it goes back to normalizing the fat, dude, and making it seem like it's okay where it's not.
If you want to be respected, you have to start by respecting yourself first. Take care of yourself. Take care of your fitness. Value yourself so you look presentable, so you look respectable, and you're going to get a lot more respect. So those are the guys that I align with, that I look up to, or that I associate with, because that's who I align with. I don't have a bunch of overweight friends. Like, all my friends work out. We have the same mindsets. We have same goals, same visions, because that's who I associate with myself. I don't want to surround myself with people that aren't like that, because they don't align with me.
Yeah.
So it's like we have to surround ourselves with those people. So,
dude, West is fucking next level. That guy's huge. You ever seen him in person?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. How big is he? Like he's sitting 245?
Something like that. Yeah, like 5'10". 245, something like that. Yeah,
that guy's huge, man.
Yeah. But the same thing, it goes into doing it consistent for long term. Building it just consistently over and over and over. Burpees, dialed in nutrition, all that stuff.
Maybe it might be a good idea to just lock some of these motherfuckers up and get them in shape that way. Because holy shit, that would do it for you. Yeah, Wes is huge. I seen Bad Rose for his age, very strong too, very strong. And like we were talking about earlier, it's just these guys' mindset but it's also a good example of what you can achieve. Like, look at Wes, in such a short time. It's been 3 years since he's been out. Did you ever see his first videos when it would just be him in the window?
I don't think so, no.
Bro, from that to where he's at now, I'm like, bro, if that's not a fucking great example that in true reality you can do whatever the fuck you want and accomplish it, I don't know what is. Mm-hmm. Because this guy started with a fucking phone, for sure an iPhone, next to a fucking window without a shirt, just fucking screaming like crazy. Mm-hmm. And look where the fuck he's at now.
Yep.
That's it.
Consistency and discipline, man. Doing the same thing over and over for long enough.
Yeah.
That's where most people, they always say, that's where most people do it. You just got to be different. You got to do what most people aren't. And that's be consistent.
So what's next for you, man? Talk to me about that. I know we spoke yesterday. You got a lot of moving parts. It sounds exciting.
Like I said, man, I feel like the job is never done. I feel like I'm never satisfied. I just want to I have that mindset where I just want to be better. But now I'm getting to the point where I want to be able to, I always just love helping people. Number one, it started off with the fitness, helping people get in shape. Now I'm getting to the business side of it, showing people how to run a successful fitness business as well, and just be able to provide more impact to people. So now that I'm getting into the business realm of it as well, going to show people everything I did to build a business from zero to, where I'm at now. And then also, do different events, different speaks, or stuff like that. And just help more people, getting on, that's why I have my own podcast now, getting on YouTube, getting on all these platforms, just to branch out there, touch more people, change more people's lives, provide more value. And then what do they always say? The more people you help out, the more it helps you out.
And what's the name of your podcast again?
The JJ Velasquez Show.
Yeah, the JJ Velasquez Show.
And in my podcast, man, same thing. I just tell my story because people, they see these guys and they're like, well, that's easy for that guy. But it's just like, no, I was a normal guy, just like everybody else, grew up in a small town. But what did I do? I worked on myself. I surrounded myself with mentors, invested in myself, worked on my mindset, fitness, all this stuff, learn new skills. And that's how we can get to the next level. So in my own podcast here, I always talk about exactly what I did. I gave my blueprint of where I'm at, from beginning being, broke and living under paycheck to now. It's just like, what did I do to get from zero to where I'm at now? And that's what I just share my story. And because, I want to be able to tell other people it is possible for you, because I hate being average or seeing people just live average, jobs they hate, income they hate, barely getting by, because that was me, years ago. I just knew I wanted better, but I didn't know how to get there. And now that I'm getting there, it's like I want to be able to share my story, provide impact, provide value to people so that people can achieve their best life.
And the programs you're currently running, they're still running right now. Like, how can people find that? Or if they want more information, sign up for training or stuff like that, how do they do that?
Yeah, so the easiest way would be to find me on Instagram. Shoot me a message on Instagram there. We could have a chat. Of course, I'm on YouTube. Most of the stuff you can find me under JJ the Fitness Coach. Of course, my podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. It's the JJ Velasquez Show. Yeah, man, I'm there to help people out. So if you need something, you need anything I can do for you, man, send me a message and I'll help you out.
And then also for like, let's say individuals that are training and want to have online programs, you also help out with that too.
Of course. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Fat loss, weight loss. That's my specialty. Or if you're getting into the fitness business, you're a personal trainer right now, maybe you're not very successful at, you want to go online or you just want to, scale your business. I can give you the blueprint for that too.
I love it, man. Well, dude, thank you very much for showing up. Great conversation here, dude. A lot of great insight in regards to the fitness process, what it takes to achieve it. And I think it's important for a lot of people to get a refresher on that, especially with all the noise going on in today's social media. You got all these influencers just showing six packs and saying that, it's a quick fix to get there, and pushing out there. But you guys heard it right here, raw and straight from somebody that didn't have the perfect body and built it, but not only changed the mindset, but now has a blueprint for life, family, fatherhood, entrepreneurship, business, and fucking dominating in the business.
That's what it's all about, man.
So, dude, thank you for being on this. And one last time, let's give them your hashtag, your Instagram stuff. Your handle, Instagram, where they can find you, all that good stuff.
Very easy. It's JJ the Fitness Coach on Instagram. You can find me on there. YouTube's the same thing. But yeah, if you want to talk to me, shoot me a message on Instagram. Otherwise, check out my podcast, The JJ Velasquez Show. You'll get some value from it. Don't hesitate to reach out.